Hey there, and welcome to the Greyhorn Pagans podcast. Here we chat with modern day mystics, occultists, witches, and warlocks in an effort to find the secrets laying beyond this mortal realm. Follow us on social media at Greyhorn Pagans or Greyhorn Podcast. Visit our website www.greyhornpagans.com. Make sure to subscribe to our Patreon at www.patreon.com/GreyhornPagans for bonus content, a look behind the scenes, and much more. Like, share, and subscribe, and let's get into it.
Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Greyhorn Pagans podcast. Thank you again for watching. Thank you again for listening. Before we get any further, do make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Give us a 5-star rating on Spotify, and do support us on Patreon, patreon.com/GreyhornPagans, so that I may keep doing this, keep getting interesting guests and awesome conversations. I still have a day job, unfortunately, and I would love to bring you all more of this wisdom, more of these, well, sometimes eccentric people. Hey, I've had some people over the years on the show. I've been doing this for maybe close to 5 years now. So yeah, please do so. Patreon.com/GreyhornPagans is the best way to support me. Got a few different tiers. Of course, you can get bonus content, early access, and of course the Greyhorn Pagans book club, where we are reading Still Night Side of the Runes, which is absolutely fascinating book. I already have the next book ready, and all suggestions are welcome. I get of course, I do have a pile of books that I want to read myself, but like I said, any suggestions are welcome. I know my audience. I know you like the good shit just as I do. So, patreon.com/GreyhornPagans to pick out a tier of your liking. Like, share, subscribe, and let's get into it with a first time guest, someone who I've only gotten in contact with recently, but we hit it off. We we're closer in the like pagan creator circles than we thought we were, which is always interesting. So yeah, I have for you the Chaotic Creator, a name that he definitely does justice. So bro, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you for for setting it up so quickly. And for those who may not be familiar with you just yet, which I imagine might be a few, introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do? What's your secret?
What's my secret? My secret is I'm me. I don't try to be anything else. I'm not agnostic. I'm not this. I'm not that. I am not a racist. I'm not a Republican. I'm not any of these. You can throw whatever label you want at me. End of the day is I am me. And it's funny. And what do? I made a choice very, very long time ago that you can be different. You can be more you. You can be special. Maybe not chosen, but you choose to be something different, and you can call it special, you can call it more of yourself, whatever you want to be. But I decided to be that inadvertently. When I was a kid, my buddy said my favorite quality about you, bro, is you really give zero fucks what anybody thinks. You are going to be you. And hearing that, I was like, well, who else could I be? What else could I be than to be me? But I guess that could be from growing up without a father. You don't have that voice of reason in your head to make sure that you've been slapped enough times in the back of the head to think before you talk, because I never really have. And that's kind of why it's got everything today I wrote down, because man, I live this shit, I embody this shit, and I could really just go any direction at any point in time and go off on some crazy ass tangent.
I mean, to be authentically yourself is something that is, I'd say, increasingly rare nowadays, especially, of course, with the whole influencer culture popping up and them really having their own way of speech. Even the influencer accent, it's a thing, which is absolutely insane. You know, they all think the same, look the same, sound the same. You know, unfortunately, they're successful with it. I'm also just very, you know, very me. What you see is what you get. I mean, you know, of course, the podcast me is a little different than actual me, a little more professional, I'd say. And I'm having less, well, I'm still having a good amount of success, but a little less. So, you know, like, share, subscribe, Patreon, you know, help me get successful. But to be authentically yourself, I mean, it's really the only thing that you should be. Although that is really
hard to
it
be.
is one of the it's hard. It's one of the toughest quests that you can embark on to find
Yeah,
out, you know,
because you
who
got to
am
find
I?
out who you are before you can be you.
Yeah, and like who are you without any like outside influences? Like who are you not in, you know, what kind of books do you read? What kind of TV do you watch? What kind of music do you like? No, that's all, you
Anger
know, things
management,
that
that movie. Well, just tell me who you are. No, that's what you do. Just tell me who you are. And I guess the only answer to that I could think of is I'm me. I don't know what to tell you. I'm a conglomeration of a lot of different things. It depends on what day you catch me on. You know, sometimes the devil sounds like you, but on a bad day.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just we all have those bad days, and sometimes we can get a little unfiltered.
I mean, I'm Dutch. We're very forward and very direct anyway. It's really the I mean, all Germanics really are, you know, the Germans are the same way. A lot of Scandinavians are the same way as well. Which is funny, you know, because in contrary to like a lot of Americans, for example, in my experience, um, the American way is really beating around the bush, you know, saying something without actually saying it. And
Basically
then the
everything
Dutch.
we've talked about is covered in this podcast. Is going to be covered in this podcast. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, my wife is American too, and she really had to get used to the Dutch directness. You know, she'd ask me a question, I'd just be straightforward, like, you know, this, and she would like, wait, hold up, I'm not used to this. Like, why are you so mean? I'm not mean. I'm just direct. Like, you ask me, I tell you. That's it. Question, answer.
Is that the mark of being someone intelligent? You can't take time to justify spending the time to reword the words in a longer way. It's always got to be short, sweet, to the point because you're busy, because you're smart.
It's I believe that's part of it, but a lot of people think that being smart is, you know, being able to explain something in all these big words and fancy terms and all of that, and that just, I mean, that's not being smart. That's just being a nerd.
It's actually the opposite. Because only a smart person can word it in a way that somebody that's unintelligent can understand it.
Exactly.
You don't do that with big words.
No. I mean,
You have
that's
to do it with
just
50 more words, though.
I mean, yeah, being smart is being able to explain it in such a way that, you know, a person of average or, you know, lower intelligence, lower IQ might be able to understand it. Pretty much how that everyone, you know, let's say top down, would be able to understand it. That's the mark of a true smart person. Because all those fancy words, all those, you know, especially if they're gonna like throw around Latin, for example, like, you're just trying to be interesting. Stop that. You're not.
Yeah, no. Yeah. That's funny because when you first meet me, generally you look at me and you're like, okay, yes, sir. I kind of really need it right now. I kind of really need it right now. Mom wouldn't let me use your computer, and I can't. I need 2 phones. I'm sorry. I'll give it back to you shortly. I was like, hey, I need to come over and use your computer so I could do this podcast. And she said, okay. And then I go and grab her computer and ask her for her pen, and she's freaking the fuck out. You're gonna break it. Like, okay. I only have stuff in my life that's, $15,000, and I have to, and it's technology, and it could break. Or, the generator that I lit on fire because I turned it on twice. Or, the belt pulley that just was welded onto the generator as it should be getting blown the fuck off. But that shit kind of doesn't seem to happen anymore. In fact, nothing in my life breaks anymore, which is nice. But I actually have my own theory on that, because I swear to God, every time I was somewhere I shouldn't have been, man, I touch something or I even look at it and the shit breaks. Something
I
I've
mean,
noticed. I feel like I've noticed. I don't know. I haven't really taken enough. I've taken enough thought to think about it over the years, but like, can I say indefinitely? No. Can I say probably? No. Can I say likely? Yeah. It's likely to be a fact. But, what appears, what translates into happenings in my life might not be the same translation in yours. We all have archetypes, right?
yeah, we all have our own experiences. We all have our own path to walk. We each embody, different archetypes. Like, I don't know. Some people may be more Votonic, more of the wizard type, wise old man type, and then others are more the I mean, this is explained very much in Germanic terms, of course, maybe the the Donar type, Thor type, more of the protector and the warrior. Um I mean, yeah, you can boil them down to archetypes, but that's it's also part of who you are. It's part of the collective consciousness. Just read Carl Jung's work on
Right.
it.
Well, I'm thinking more of the archetype as being labeled as Thor because he's the epitome. That doesn't mean there's tons of sub archetypes to that. You know what I mean? Because we are human. So you might embody some of both archetypes. You know what I mean? But that's just because you're not here to embody something. You're here to experience everything as much as you can, at least. Where Thor is Thor, Loki is Loki, Odin is Odin. They are the epitomes. That's why we call them the gods. Like
Yep.
the Indians do a rain dance to summon rain because they're calling upon the weather god. That would be what Zeus or Thor. You know what I mean? Structurally destructive. Destructive is all fuck. No, destructive is all hell. High capability for destruction, but doesn't have
And
a
that,
sway in mental state, or he's not wishy-washy. He's very
and then again, if you look at the pantheons, you could, Thor, if you want to compare him to the Hellenic Roman gods, you could really divide him up in two: Heracles and Zeus. Although I'd say he's more akin to Heracles, but Zeus then more has the position of Wotan, if you will. He is positioned as the the head of the pantheon, when he is more of a storm god, if you will. I mean, yeah, I'd say Heracles, even though he's a demigod, not a full god, is more akin to Thor. Thinking of Zeus and all the things that he's done, probably more akin to Wotan.
well. I guess by that by having other gods that could be falling into two different archetype categories, that would make a warrior the sword. Literally, the archetype is a sword. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Where fire is destruction, water is life, or maybe light is life. Um, the four elements, but there's more than four. There's a show that depicts the four different elements around this Hades throne, and one of the actual streams that come off of the centerpiece of Hades throne is the River of Souls. And I was like, huh,
Yeah.
you know, that's interesting. Call that plasma, if you will, I guess.
Oh, damn, that's a good one. The river Styx. Yeah. Oh shit, I hadn't thought about that. That's good. Yeah, that could be as the earthly elements. Yeah, I mean, there's a fifth one, spirits, prana.
I was gonna say light.
Yeah. Hey.
Phones. Everything is frequency and vibration.
True, 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 true. And I mean, light is also vibration. If something vibrates at a high enough speed, it will produce light. Sound can produce light. Sound is just a lower vibration than light, if you will. I mean, speaking in, like physics terms, not,
No, I was thinking something.
a slow, well, not a lower, a slower vibration it will be, not necessarily lower, slower.
Because if it's sound that creates light, colors, because you can
It's
spin
vibration. It's vibration that creates both light and sound. And vibration is
which makes
energy.
sense. Brings the color wheel into perspective a lot, because that's why there's so many different archetypes. Why there's so many different colors. Why are certain colors matched to certain archetypes?
Mm-hmm. It's like the famous Pink Floyd album with the light going through the prism. I mean, that's how you can see vibration and the human aspect, that we are the product of light, of vibration going through the prism, whatever the prism may be. I think that's one of the biggest challenges of all. What is the prism? Call it God,
Three-dimensional.
call it spirits, call it whatever it is, the Godhead. I mean, we name it because that allows us to understand it.
Huh. I never thought about that before. We could just be inside of a crystal.
We are a crystalline body.
No, I meant the what creates
Like an
the
actual
what creates the dome? Where does the firmament come from? How does that exist? It would make sense that we're inside of something, and if we're inside of something, I mean, why not a prism? Because a prism creates a 3D realm.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily believe in a like a hard cap on, our planet, our realm, whatever it is. What I am 100% sure of is that Earth, space, nature, whatever it is not what we are being taught that it is. I don't adhere to any shape theory. Like, I don't give a fuck. It can be a fucking square for all I care. That'd be cool, actually.
Right. Well, there's four corners.
Hey, well, there you go. Earth is not. Earth is. It's not even a circle. It's not even a disc. It's a square, and we're living on square Earth.
Watch out,
That's
guys! Great little square over here.
Ooh, and that is why everything is squared. Why the TV, computer, phones. That's a fun conspiracy theory to develop just for shits and giggles.
Dude, you really could. You could get some people on that.
You could do some damage with that shit. That'd be hella funny. No,
Well,
but
you got to
I
take
do
into
believe.
consideration some people think that there's beyond the ice wall. So the ice wall might be a circle.
Maybe. I mean, circular walls, it is one of the most natural shapes on Earth, or, like even that, calling our planet Earth when it's like 76-77% water. And we don't even know who named our planet. It's like, it's Earth. It's always been Earth for some reason.
I have a question. It's the surface area on the top of the layer of the water that they say that is why it's mostly water, right? It's not about the volume or the weight of the water, just the sheer
the amount,
area.
yeah.
Well, there's ground under every ounce of water, bro. So it's as much water as it is Earth.
Mm,
No? How can you have
No,
water?
there is. I mean, volume-wise, there's a little more water because the continents they
Well,
don't go all the way to the sea bottom. That's why they can drift. That's why there's such a thing as tectonic
right, but
plates.
there's still a ground. There's still got to be something at the bottom.
Yeah,
You would
there
think,
is,
at
but
least.
between the very bottom of our continents, which I believe is around 30 kilometers deep. So let's say like 20 miles or something? Under between, let's say, the bottom of the continents and the ocean floor, there is still water. Otherwise, it would not be able to move around.
And we have to assume there's something below the bottom.
Whoa, dude.
So
What kind
dirt,
of
when it
creatures
comes
will
to
be living
dirt,
there?
dude, I don't know. Microorganisms, mycelium, the reason why the world can never die. Oh, we shouldn't be talking about that.
I mean, do they have to be micro?
I mean, a worm isn't micro, so.
Depends on who you ask. For the blue whale, a worm
Well,
is definitely fucking micro.
yeah, but a worm is still giant to a microorganism. Micro is a set size of shape.
What's order for the spy is chaos for the fly.
We could sit here and talk about chaos bullshit all day, but we should talk about karma.
Yes.
Karma.
Well, this is just a warming up, if you will.
You gotta get these people's minds. You gotta get everybody's minds loosened up.
Yeah, we got to get them into the right mindset. Yeah.
Right. You gotta get in there. You gotta disrupt the current wiring. And if they've made it this far, then they deserve to hear what has to be said.
Unplug some wires, perhaps.
I made a joke. I started making a joke. This is totally pertinent. I started making a joke to people. I was like, it's funny. We went to the moon in the 60s. Yeah, my phone doesn't work on I-5. Just, only a statewide highway that spreads across 3 states from fucking Canada to Mexico. And it still continues on into those countries. And there are spots in a flat plain where I don't have signal. And there's spots where I'm up on a mountain where I have signal on I-5. And it really, it really doesn't make any sense. So I started saying this, we made it to the moon in the 60s, but my phone can't work on I-5. And I stopped saying it to people because it got scary. Very, very scary how about 100 people, random people, citizens behind store cash registers or just standing there, however the fuck my meeting occurred with these people, they would give me the exact same response. You could goddamn copy and paste that damn thing from person to person to person. The way they tilted their head, the duration at which they laughed, how they had their how they held their body, the tone that they laughed in, the length that they laughed, and then how they went right back. It's truly terrifying. It really brings NPC to a whole nother perspective. And I stopped after like 100 people because it started getting disturbing how it was just so exactly similar. But I was talking to my friend and I was like, I want to say it's like I'm planting a seed in these people's mind, but planting is not the word. He's like, it's because you're implanting, bro. I was like, oh damn. Breaking through that cognitive dissonance, getting through that wiring, and start implanting seeds that they don't even know the better. And then one day they wake up, and that's the fundamental seed that popped, and has been growing, creating the root system to come up out your head.
I mean, that's what you hope, and I'm sure that's the case with a few of these people. That
Hey, man,
they
2 of them is good enough for me.
hell yeah. I mean, they get home and they're like, this guy, to their wife or their significant
Dude.
other, or like whoever, just this guy at the store said the damnedest thing, and I haven't been able to get it out of my head since.
Yeah, no, that was in Folsom in Sacramento. I was walking into Winco, and this black homeless dude, I think, he had a pit bull off a leash, and the pit bull came up and said hi to me, and he's like, "Oh my God, you look like Jesus." I was like, "Mora?" Oh my God, you look like Jesus. You gotta tell me, man. Why? Why? I was like, to be more, dude. And I swear to God, this motherfucker froze, looking into the abyss like somebody just drop kicked his fucking spirit out of his body. Like he was not expecting me to say that, and it hit home. This chick, even that was right next to him or there, I don't know if it was a random person or if he knew her or whatever. Um, but she was like, "Why you gotta put that on me?" As I was walking away, I just shrugged my shoulders. I don't know what you fucking want from me. Like I didn't put nothing on you. You put it on you. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say.
Yeah, you let it in. You let it,
Like,
you let it affect yourself. You let it fester.
is it that hard to be a better human being? Does that mean you actually have to look yourself in the mirror and be like, I love myself? I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen from that, you know? The opposite? Because that's so healthy. But hey, I don't smoke cigarettes.
I mean, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, even though connected, are very much separate from each other.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I mean, you can get the craziest wisdom or just, the grandest wisdom from the craziest people.
Yeah.
But yeah, karma.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 So
Before
karma,
we get on
what we
another
know,
side
what
tangent.
we what we thought we knew, and what is. Karma isn't a force. Karma is a fundamental function. Everybody wants to look at karma as a person or an entity, and I disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly because then people are manipulating a person or an entity, and that sounds a whole lot easier. Oh wait, no, don't. Sounds a whole lot harder than the actions that these people take to manipulate them, as I manipulate it. So it's got to be a function ultimately, and it's not. And I think by the end of this, people will agree with it. So karma is a very difficult thing to understand, and people are only scratching the surface of its depths. We have all heard the phrase "karma will get them." I wish it was that simple. Karma isn't a force; it's a law governing existence through action. When most explain karmatic effect, it always sounds similar, like how the luck is described. No matter what, no matter what you choose, karma or luck to be, one thing is certain: it's cause and effect. The simple answer was easy to package and sell. A lie that allowed people to excuse their actions. The lie was it's not that simple. Because it really fucking is. And when has the truth ever been difficult to understand?
It's never been difficult to understand, but it's always been difficult to accept.
Right? No, that's for sure. But talking function, you don't get an opinion. It's just
I
the way
mean,
that I mean, not you getting an opinion on how it functions. I'm just saying it's a function. You don't get to just. It's not this thing people describe as luck, because luck is.
karma and luck that has nothing to do with each other. It is completely separate from each other. I mean, yeah,
Oh, no,
good
no, it is.
karma.
It is.
So I've saved up a
Well,
lot of good karma, therefore I'm lucky, which would make karma a substance of some kind.
no, no,
If you can save it up, or if you can like
can't.
gain it or lose it, it'd be a substance of some kind.
It's neither gain nor use. It's neither gain nor lost. It is simply a vibrational function at which light exists, as does karma. So, when you extended the invite and told me to pick the topic, I could not think of a better topic to choose than karma, because the sheer experience that I have with this topic is simply fucking mind blowing. It really, really, really is. Furthermore, it's one topic I've spent my entire life trying to understand. I took what I was learning about life and I applied it in real time to better understand exactly what was. Yeah, I gambled with my life, betting against what people called luck, using purpose as the poker chips. I was no longer aimless. I was driven for a reason and with a purpose. So we can just dig right into all of this. My words are great and all, but they don't mean anything unless there's something to reference them to. So
True.
being that this is firsthand experience, firsthand knowledge, and if you want to openly debate anybody, not you, openly debate this, like I can go to deepest, darkest corners of this where I will out reason you because I got the examples of the actual situations in my life and I know exactly who I am inside. So
So for everyone
you
watching,
can't really
for everyone listening, throw it up in the comments.
please try. Find a way to break my logic because if you can, that means I wasn't right. And that's the fucking point. Because if you understand everything that exists, how it exists, you understand how things function and work, like on a microscopic level.
Yeah.
As above, so below. So as you understand this, as you understand that, it goes hand in hand. Smart people aren't disciplined people because they spent their lives not experiencing. They've experienced all the hell that they needed to realize that their discipline meant something.
And I believe those are the smartest people, the wisest people who have actually experienced it, not the people who, have read all about it in books and stories and all of that. Secondhand experience doesn't give you the same lessons that actual experience does. Actually, I recently, I believe either today or yesterday or something, I shared a post from, well, the Wandering Spartan, and I love this. Man shall not attain divinity unscarred.
Yeah. No, I seen that. I hadn't gotten to the messaging of that. I was gonna respond. I was gonna be like something another.
But I think that's very true because whatever life you're leading, if you are experiencing life, and all of that it has to offer, you're gonna end up with some scars. But it's those scars or the events that led up to the wounds that become scars. It's those events that teach you the most. The path to lightness goes through the dark. The path to enlightenment goes through the dark.
The abyss, I like to call it.
The abyss.
Yeah, we can think of someone for that one. So what makes a person special? I've been called special all my life, and at times I couldn't deny the idea that it was possible. Very few people, if any, can do things the way I do things, and not everything is meant to be done by everybody that certain way. Everyone is unique, and certain ways work better for them. That's just that. Being that no one is the same, that kind of makes everybody the same. So how can someone call themselves or be called special and it actually be true? What if being special is a choice? I'm not better than you and you're not better than me. That is a fact. The more important question is, what do you choose to be? Choose to be different, myself, special, whatever you want to call it. It's a choice that anyone can make, and by doing so, it's one of the most profoundly righteous actions in life. The action gives you control over your power rather than giving it away. It's what makes us humans humans. It's our choice. So, what are you choosing for yourself?
I like that. Nobody
Sure.
is better than anyone else. They might be better
Jesus said
at.
you can do this. You can be me.
I mean, you might be better at very specific things. Like I'm a a big pro wrestling fan, and there's this one wrestler very successful in AEW, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, whose tagline literally is "I'm better than you and you know it." He's a heel. He's a bad guy, and we love him for it. I mean, yeah, he definitely is a better pro wrestler than I am. He's definitely a better athlete than I am. I'm not gonna lie, he absolutely is. Does that make him better than me? Does that, make MJF as a person, as a being better than me? No, it makes him different. Makes him, I don't know, makes him special in his way. I'm a better fucking podcaster than he is.
No, I understand.
I can say that.
met a
Doesn't
rapper,
make me better than him.
right?
Just
No,
makes me different.
I met a guy, a rapper from Connecticut. His name's Chris Webby. He put a couple things in his songs. He said, in North Richmond, these treasonous demons these evil, treasonous demons, the pigs have finally taken over on this animal farm. And I was like, no, can't say that. Because the book, The Animal Farm, depicts the pigs as, yeah.
As
And then
fascist
in
leaders,
another
really.
one, he's like, the thing about this is, and the thing about that is, then he's all, and the thing about the Jews is, wait, did my song just censor itself? Shit, now they're gonna call me anti-Semitic as well. I was like, no, sir, no, you did not. And then at the end of that song, he has a fucking manifesto about wanting to stand up against what's wrong with this world. And I was like, sir, you're gonna have to stay true to who the fuck you are in your music, because I'm gonna go meet you now. Because if you are not, I will never listen to music again. I'll never ever again. And I'm on the fence. I still listen to his music, but I'm on the fence. But
Mm-hmm.
I missed the second meet and greet, and then I told one of the guys to go see if I could get down there. It was around the time it would need to have been, and the dude was coming up to tell me to go fuck myself, and then he made eye contact with me. He was like, "It's you, yes, come on." And I went down there, and Chris Webber was like, "I wish we had more time to talk." I was like, "It's all good, dude. I was just here to shake your hand one more time, tell you to have a good show, and peace." The buddy that I brought with me said when I walked away, his fucking jaw dropped. Like, who the fuck is this dude? Like, bro, I get that you're cool, and I get that you're famous, but that doesn't mean anything, because if I was known, people knew about what I do and who I am, I'd be right there with you, man. Like, it's, you made a choice to do something great.
Yeah.
Glad. Me too. You know, like, I mean, imagine how many fans go in there and, like, this is, I made up a word for this dude. Undick rightness. Because he would not give me a compliment one or the other the entire first meet and greet until the very end. When he was like, dude, you really fucking are a wizard. I ain't never met a real wizard before. I was like, okay. That was a little just out of nowhere. Just gonna drop all emotion, point at me in front of all your fucking fans. Because in the beginning I was like, I wasn't gonna tell nobody my name, but they were talking about funny ass last names, and I've got the best of the best. I got the best of the best for last names. And I said it, and he was deeply, deeply afraid for my life as he's looking at the two people in the room that would quote unquote care about what I just said. But when he said, if you weren't going to tell me your name, then what was I supposed to call you? I said, well, everybody calls me the wizard. And he laughs, as one would. Why wouldn't you laugh? Oh yeah, this fool's calling himself a wizard. Really? Yeah, we'll see. And then at the end of that first meet and greet, yeah, he saw. he admitted it all so much. And then they actually fucking I went out back and I smoked with one of the other rappers, because he was outside, and he was like, no, I don't want to smoke. I'm like, I'm not from here. We were in Utah. I'm from California, and there's wax in this. And he was like, okay. And he grabs the water and comes down and he smokes. He takes one hit off this shit. And then 30 minutes later, we're inside and he's like, hell, we got a real wizard in the house tonight. I was like, I jumped on my homeboy's back. I was geeking. That's why I missed the second fucking meet and greet. I had to call a friend of mine and have him remind me why I was there, not to get all into my ego. And yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know, kind of like warm me up.
the ego is not a bad thing. That's also something, like
Yeah,
alongside
but
of karma. People don't understand the ego. People don't understand what the ego is. The ego is you. Therefore, you can't kill your ego. You can't get rid of your ego. Because you get rid of a part of yourself. You'd kill a part of yourself.
well, isn't that what technically Odin does? He binds his ego with all of his other parts, and they become one. So technically, evolve. You can make it evolve into something that it once wasn't,
I mean,
or
yeah,
whatever. I said that
I'd
double
say you
negative.
can. I mean, it's all a matter of perspective, of course. As as karma is, it's not a good thing, not a bad thing. It's it just is. But I mean, yeah, he transcended, and yeah, maybe through a lot of things he did through ego, but he did it in the in the quest for something greater than himself. And yeah, sometimes you know, you gotta do some bad shit to get the good in return. You gotta,
Ultimately, soul dig.
yeah. I mean, he did a lot of bad shit, but it's also thanks to him that, I mean, like, literally, we are alive, we are living.
That's kind of why I always said the Christian Bible sounds like it's written by a. The Christian Bible sounds like a man speaking words of what he says is God, because he is a God in his eyes. It is Exodus. You shall worship no other God than me. It sounds awfully fucking human now, doesn't it?
You will have no other gods before me.
Or, well,
Thereby,
yeah, whatever.
yeah. No, but it's funny. I've done that's a while ago. Well, a while ago, a few weeks, I believe, with Brady Nash from Apocalypse Historia. He has this whole thing, and he's done amazing research on it, that God is Odin. And he really has done like extensive research on it, pulls from so many sources, both like contemporary and historically and everything, which it's so funny to me that, like, every time a Christian prays to God, that they're technically praying to Odin. Just the thought of that is so funny. But yet, our gods are, they're just demons in disguise, trying to manipulate us and, whatever. It's like, nah. I mean, your god used to be one of or it still is one of a pantheon as well. The original religion, the original god was just one of many. It's just easier to worship one god, and that's a conscious choice that's been made. There are so many types of religion, so many forms.
So, I think since it's funny, it's actually in the next paragraph I wrote. So, to go back to that, to answer that little tidbit about religion. So what are you choosing for yourself? Is what you're choosing for yourself righteous, or is it creating your self-doubt? Well, yourself lack of self-worth. Right and wrong might be perspective, but righteous and unrighteous is much more black and white. If God helps those that helps themselves, then in what way can you help yourself more than aiming for righteousness? I don't even know. When I say righteousness, I don't mean like the Bible speaks righteousness by any stretch. In fact, we're gonna put the whole Bible religion thing to bed, because I'm religious. You're religious. Every speaker is religious, and everybody's gonna argue with me until you realize RE is to rebuild, or recreate. LIG is to bind or to tie, and then ION is origin or function. So to break yourself down, rebuild yourself up, to tie yourself back to the original function of the existence, that is religion in and of itself. And what does a Bible speak? They preach the 14th commandment. Like, that's not function. That's manipulation. Because you shouldn't have to tell somebody what's right and wrong. They should know. They shouldn't go fuck best friend's wife's best friend who's married. But we make mistakes.
I mean,
Nobody's
yeah,
perfect.
but that's what makes us human. That's, those are the lessons that we ought to learn from. Because if you don't make mistakes, if life just, like, whatever you do, whatever you try, you just succeed, where's the challenge in that? Where's the growth in that? You're not going to grow that way.
So why righteousness? Well, because there's a cost to being righteous. The cost is pain and pride. Pride in who you are, what you do, and the pain endured to strengthen your morality. Pride is the kiln, pain is the fire from which every great sword is forged. Being righteous requires perseverance, and perseverance is surviving. Survival is the will to exist. It is to grow, and growth requires sacrifice. Can't put water into a cup that's already full. Righteousness is the key that opens the door in the abyss of your inner strength. Karma exists to help you grow by working for you. Karma doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. The price is paid in pain and pride. Price is karma. Karma comes when you set out to do something greater than yourself, or at least willing to be greater.
The will to survive, or how Nietzsche would have said it, the will to live.
The will to exist.
Yeah, the will to exist, the will to live. Yeah. I mean, I
No,
guess
because people are
existence.
going to be perceptive on live. What's living? If you're not into it, so
Yeah,
fuck living. To exist, your survival instinct almost
true.
only there to prevent you from no longer existing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I guess that's true. Living is, I mean, they're telling us, at least in the medical sense, that someone hooked up to a machine, like having the machine breathe for them, being fed through a tube hooked up to another machine just because they have a heartbeat and a semblance of brain function, that they are alive. It's like, I mean, are they really? Biologically speaking, yeah, simply because there is still function, but I wouldn't call that living. That's why I've often said, if it comes up to, like God's forbid something happens that requires me to be kept alive by, like, I don't know how many fucking machines, just pull the damn plug.
It's not gonna happen that way, man. You either decide to get up or you decide to die. People die from broken hearts.
Yeah.
Like this whole thing they depict on the movies. He wouldn't want to be this way. Pull the plug, pull the plug. Like, this shit ain't real, man. I guarantee you, the only reason why they're still breathing and why their body still functions is because they refuse to give up when they're gone. Their soul's gone, but their body is in defense mode, refusing to give up, or vice versa, I guess. Well, yeah, vice
I
versa
mean,
would be your body's dead and you're in a wheelchair and you're like that Hawkins dude.
yeah. And I mean, my grandfather is a late grandfather from father's side. He is I mean, not a exact example of that, but it was, he had a bad heart. He had bad lungs. He worked with asbestos a lot
Oof.
back when they didn't know it was so incredibly damaging to you. It's just, it was good stuff. It did the job, very, better than anything else. It was cheap, plentiful. Too bad it fucking kills you. Um, but he loved my grandmother so much that for like at least 3 years, every time the Grim Reaper came knocking, he was just like, nope, not leaving her. Sorry, you know, try again next time. Like for like, I believe it was like at least 3 years, maybe longer, that the doctors told us pretty much every time had another doctor visit, or when he had another setback. It's like, well, enjoy him while he's still here. Every day might be his last. That went on for 3 years just because he refused to give up. He refused to leave my grandmother. And lo and behold, as soon as he passed, within the year, my grandmother passed as well.
Yeah. Well, as much as we want to say that's unfortunate, I don't think it really is. I mean, can you call it suicide if your heart stops?
No, I mean, you could say that she,
Could argue it,
she
I guess.
she died of a broken heart in some way. I mean,
Well, that's consciously making the decision that you can no longer survive without the other. So,
well, I mean, if you've been together for
I'm not
what,
arguing.
60 plus years, have raised
Oh yeah.
6 children together. I mean, it's hard to, and you're, 80 plus years old at
Well,
that
you all want to
point.
start over again, and find each other. Can't be doing that if one's still alive.
I mean, yeah, no, I do hope that they eventually found each other again on the other side and just, continued
Well,
on
I meant
there.
when reincarnation when he came back,
Uh, I mean, I'm not sure if he's back yet.
because I'm pretty sure true if soulmates are a thing, they're not. The age gap isn't large.
No, No, definitely not. And that is, assuming you believe in reincarnation. I mean, reincarnation is real.
Sure.
Even if it's because of the simple fact that energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be, reformed, if you will.
Right.
It can only
Right.
take on a different form. It cannot be extinguished. It cannot be destroyed.
So if you want to understand karma isn't a force but a function, then you have to understand what function itself is. If you are the master of your own destiny, then you are the master of your own karma, and it stems from your experience when you choose to grow from them. Being righteous is an action that will cost you comfort but is returned in self-love. It will give you purpose. You begin to walk, talk, and create with a purpose. That purpose requires commitment. No matter what we are talking about, commitment is fundamental. It requires you to look within to find the reason. Purpose added to reason creates real commitment, and that beats talent and skill every time. This means that anybody can do it, and being born as you are is all you need to achieve anything. Because like I said, I'm not better than you. Nobody is. And I come from nothing. Talk about nothing. Talk about nothing. I came with good genes, and that was it. And I mean the pants. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So this
No,
whole thing about... Oh, go
it's
ahead.
true.
Yeah.
No, it's true. Like you can become anything, like fucking hell, like Eminem said in, his pretty much his breakthrough single, Lose Yourself. You can
Of
do
course
anything
you're
if
gonna
you.
quote that song.
I mean, come on, it was my very first single.
Because
No,
at
but
some
like
point he stopped doing
you can
that,
do
and I don't
anything.
think he was planned.
Mhm.
I don't think Marshall Mathers was planned. I don't think they planned on grabbing a crackhead out of the ghetto, a white boy, and fucking throwing him in the booth, and he could just rhyme like that. I think it was real until he
That
kept being a
was
crackhead, so they needed
yeah,
to get him to not be a crackhead. However, they do those things.
yeah. I mean, he's a prime example of like learned skill and just grinding and keep learning, keep improving. But as he said, like you can do anything you set your mind to, and that's true. And I have multiple
Oh yeah,
times. I just come up with this crazy idea. Like I have an end result in mind, and then I just go looking for the road to there and the possibilities. Like, okay, I want to accomplish this. How am I going to do that? Let's find out what my options are. Let's find out what my possibilities are. How am I going to do this? What's the road to there? And then, like so many times before, I succeeded because I set
and
my
it was
mind
never
to
on the
it.
first road he chose.
I mean, I had to take a few detours here and there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, sure. Like not gonna lie.
yeah.
I've been on the wrong path a few times, but always got a nudge or slap on the back of the head.
Yeah.
Like hey, this is like I get where you're walking this path, but you should be taking that one. But I mean, this is also going somewhere, right? Yeah, just not where you want to go.
Oh, not where you think you can go, not where you innately know you want to go.
Yeah, it's not going to lead you to the end result that you have in mind. It's going to lead you to a end result, but not the one that you like. So how about you
Not
hop
this one
over
that
to
means
that path
something more.
instead? Yeah, I've definitely taken a few detours here and there.
Oh, you're gonna hear some detours. You're gonna hear some detours because trust me, this is like I said earlier, this is a reference. And I still haven't gotten to the me part because there's an opening before it even starts. So the whole thing about karma is how it helped those who helped themselves when they were doing right by their inner self. For me, that was finding the answer to a question that shook me since I was a kid. There's more to life. I've been told so many times by people, there's more to life. There's more to life. And I was like, really? Where? What? I don't see it. So Finding that answer became my purpose, and karma ended up being on by my side in full force even to this very day. I never ran from the harsh realities I stumbled upon. Instead, I accepted, adapted, and continued. In fact, I sent myself into the abyss, searching and searching until I found what seemed like a locked door to I don't know what. All I needed was a way to open it. The more presented itself in many forms that some could call more, but analyzing the answers, I didn't find a single one that was acceptable. If there was more to life than it wasn't something the people around me could help me find. In fact, theirs looked minuscule compared to the bigger picture vision that I had. The relentless need to find the answer stems from my curiosity. And the world was so vast and full of wonder, unlike the answers that had presented themselves. Then 9/11 was fake, and from all of this, the mission began. Because that was kind of the make or break moment. And when somebody showed me that the 9/11 was fake on the dark web before it was really open knowledge. So the mission began, and I looked everywhere. And I mean everywhere for that more. At some point when I was older, I started to notice something. And discussing what I saw with others did absolutely nothing. The only response I ever received was your luck incarnate. At the same time, they would choose to accept luck as something that just happens. Which would mean I'm Jesus or something. This is pre-long hair, pre-neck beard, which I knew I wasn't Jesus. It's like my path had guardrails, and I couldn't fucking fall off. What they called luck wasn't cutting it anymore. By this time, the things I had escaped from was quite unbelievable. So was it karma? My curiosity never let me give up because I had to know. Curiosity killed the cat. I heard that so much, and each time the saying made me more and more irritated till I snapped and said, well, the answer brought it back then. Never did I know until about a year ago that this actual saying is curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. And I was like 15, 14 when I just apparently finished that saying without even knowing it. Everyone would say that everybody has said in my life that my luck would run out, but it's been 20 fucking years, and my luck has only grown. I want to take a moment to try and let you stand in my shoes and tell me what you think. In science and action, creating the same result every time means it's fact. If luck is by design, then it is a function. Karma, and you have the control. I mean, by karma, it's the function, just like karma. Maybe luck is karma, who knows? But everything I'm about to share is during the search for more to life, and never did I accept defeat, and yes, it would eventually find my more. Oh, who am I? A little curious fucker that ran around not giving a flying fuck what anybody thought of it, and was me, even though I was not accepted. When I was younger, they called me Puffy, because I was always smoking weed. I was always puffing on something, whether it was a cigarette or that, and I was the butt end of everybody's jokes. And all of this shit. And a friend of mine was asked, why are you even friends with him? You know, like, I don't even see the good qualities in him. He's like, let me tell you a story. Okay. This motherfucker calls me and says his car breaks down. And I don't get the message until 30 minutes after he fixes it. But this fucker broke into my house, went into my tools, grabbed the tool, used them to fix his car, put my shit back, locked up my house, and when I hit him up 30 minutes later, he was like, no, it's good, I already broke it. I put everything back the way it was. And the only thing I could say to this man was, really? It's the only word I had for him. Like, that is me. That is my friendship. Why? Because I never felt the need to steal from those that would share with me what they had. I had those people around me because I never had anything growing up. And being intelligent, you kind of gravitate towards people that have a brain. And people that usually have a brain are typically, I guess, a little more well off than I don't know, I was out there, I was learning, I was experiencing, I was doing things. So I was with people that were also like that. But I was always the brokest one by a lot. So everybody would share everything. But being the butt end of everybody's joke really brought me my strength of my me. But another thing is I won't. When I go into somebody's house, their dog was laying on the ground, for instance, right in front of the door, and I tripped over the dog, didn't see him, I would apologize. But I'm not apologizing to them. I'm apologizing to myself. Because even if I am apologizing to them, I have to be apologizing to myself. Because if I'm not sorry, then I'm saying it for you and your own benefit for your self-being. And I'm really not sorry. Because if I only tell you I'm sorry because I'm telling you sorry, it's because I care about what you think. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to fuck up your shit. Well, why aren't you pissed off at yourself that you fucked up their shit? Couldn't you be more respectful? Couldn't you be more aware? Couldn't you be, you know what I mean? So if you're apologized and you're doing it with no self-reflection, then there is no apology there. Might as well not even say sorry. Just try not to do it again, I guess. Because you're fucking not. But that's me. If I go into the house and you know I'm coming and I'm 5 minutes away and I open the door and there's a fucking skateboard right there and I trip and I launch the skateboard into your fucking TV, I'm not apologizing. That is not my fucking fault. You knew I was coming. Why is there a skateboard right here? I fucking walk in, I fucking eat shit and fucking launch this skateboard. Nah, fuck you. I'm not apologizing. I didn't do anything wrong. Why would I apologize? You should be apologizing to me and apologizing to yourself for being a dumbass.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, you're right.
I won't let people hide from their delusions. I will, if I break something and I know you'll never know, I'll still tell you. I am so fucking honest. I will tell people things they shouldn't even fucking know. There is no reason to say these things. I will present that information freely. I have no cares about what anybody thinks of me because it matters how I think of me.
And that's
why I'm single.
I mean, no comment.
No, for sure. For sure. It's definitely why I'm single.
You know, trying to anyway.
Yeah.
But no, I mean that's the truest you can be to yourself.
Yeah.
No, I mean but you're right. The examples that you give like are 100% accurate. Like I I love how visual you make it. Because like I can totally imagine it. Like I can totally imagine it, you know, someone coming over just eating shit, skateboard, ramming into something it fucking shouldn't. It's like, yeah, it's absolutely my fault for the skateboard being there. I knew you were coming over. I should have cleaned that shit up. I should have, put it or even left it where it is. And, you know, like apologizing to yourself first. Yeah.
No, you do. It's in the same, by apologizing to them, you're just acknowledging the fact that you're apologizing to yourself as well. It's
I mean, yeah, sure, but in a way that, I mean, you know, like your parents, or for so many of us, like our parents used to say when we're just like, oh, sorry. It's like, no, say it like you mean it.
Right.
Speaking of those.
Yeah. This is Jotun. He is Jotun and Odin, the frost giant and the god put together.
Ah, nice. Okay.
Yeah. And
no,
he is the oddest pit bull you will ever meet. He smells everything before he eats it. He does not do pit bull things. Very rarely does he do pit bull things. My mom was like, "Don't bring a pit bull home," and I brought a pit bull home, and she stole my fucking dog. And it's now her dog.
But I mean the honest apology and like being honest to yourself is being true to yourself. I mean, geez, that's how you get those like influencer apology videos that are still monetized or sponsored, because, you know, even an apology they have to make money of because they're just so ingenuous. It's like, oh, you know, I fucked up. This is going to cost me money. Better apologize. Even though they don't mean, you know, they don't mean shit. They don't mean shit what they're saying. They're saying it because they're supposed to say it. That's it. You know, otherwise it's going to cut into their paycheck at the end of the month.
Yeah. That's the greatest. Oh, no, I did this because I wanted to be a doctor. Can I have your money, please?
Yeah.
was like, oh, you did it because you wanted to, huh? No, you wanted the money. You didn't want the job. You just wanted the good money that comes with the job. And apparently playing with people's lives is fun to you.
I mean,
So,
like, not gonna lie, I do like the line of work that I'm in. I work in security. I work in high risk security. I do like the line of work that I'm in. I do like my job. I do, like most of my colleagues. But if they weren't paying me for it, hell, no way I'm going to
dude,
be there.
security is that is the biggest thing. That is the most underpaid thing in the motherfucking world by like a lot.
I mean,
You
here
can
in the
never pay too
Netherlands,
much for security.
it's not too bad. Although they for what we're supposed to do and for the risk that we that we carry with us on a daily while doing our job, they should pay us better. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad what I make, but could be
Can you
better,
put
should
a
be better.
price on? I mean, as a person spending the money on security, can he put a price on his life? Apparently, he can't,
I mean,
because there is a
yeah, and
price
you can
for your
you can even
security.
draft up a contract for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like speaking of signing your soul over to the devil, signing your life over to your employer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, is there much of a difference between the two, really?
So another unique thing is if you were to throw me into a room today with somebody I knew when I was 14, fucking like how long ago is that now? 19 years ago. You will literally hear them say, "You haven't changed. You're still the same fucking person. You're still as goofy and as stupid as you've ever been for how smart you fucking are." Because I do the dumbest shit, even though I'm incredibly intelligent. Quite often, actually. So these are the kinds of things that you can tell me if it's luck. And these are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are the first 8 instances that came off the top of my head, and the last 2 are actually whatever I decided to say at the time. When I was like 8, I moved up to the mountain, and I was hanging out with my cousin. He was 6 days older than me, and never let me forget it. 5 days older than me, or something like that. I think his birthday was the second or the first. His dad's is the second or the first, and his is the second or the first, or some shit. I can't remember. Anyway, I had a light, and I said I could start a forest fire, and I lit the grass on fire, and I stomped it out. And then I did it again, and I didn't stomp it out. I tried, and the mountain went whoof. Now, some of the people listening might be around or near or heard of California fires, and those are crazy. And I think I burned like 3 acres or 4 acres. Did very, very little damage, even though it was in the middle of dry season. Everything was dry grass. The volunteer fire department that was up there were all tweakers. So my stepdad and his brother ended up being the one man in the hose to put out the fire. Okay. They just couldn't. Howlful girl. So they got it out. The mountain didn't burn. People didn't lose their house. I got lucky. I was in 8th grade. My brother had a friend living with us, and I stole a bud from him, and I put it in my backpack, and I was going to take it to school. So I was going to smoke at school like a cool kid, right? Or whatever the fuck I was planning on doing. And since everybody smoked, my mom, my brothers, you know what I mean, they couldn't smell it. So I get to school, and I get into the classroom, and I open up my bag to get my books out, and oh my God, like some dude 4 desks up was like, and looked directly at me, and I was like, oh fuck. Like with, oh fuck, I'm fucked face on. Moments later, the principal comes and he pulls me out of class, and he's not making me stand next to him side by side or in front of him. I'm behind him. I pulled the weed out of my backpack and I put it in my back pocket. Now I could have totally thrown it and got rid of it, but I don't know, call it what you will. I had to keep it. This motherfucker searches my books, okay? He opens up my books looking for weed. He checks my fucking socks looking for this weed. He never checks my back fucking pocket. Yeah, never checks my back pockets. I got a lot.
I mean, your pockets is the first place you're gonna put it, especially as a kid.
Bro, my books. He searched every crevice of my backpack. He opened my book. He forgot to check my back pockets.
How?
So lunch, I don't know. It was the first class of the day. I survived till lunch without being searched again. I stashed the weed, and then I told everybody what happened. Everybody that was willing to listen. Anybody and everybody.
God.
And what happens when I come into after lunch in class? Up, pulled right into the principal's office. Somebody snitched. Whatever.
Yep.
First place he checks is my back pocket.
Now he does.
Well,
Jeez.
because somebody
Okay.
said something, that's how I got away with it.
Yeah.
And then that weekend, they had cops at the school with dogs trying to find the stash because I could never, because I knew at that point if people are snitching, I'm getting caught up. I can't go grab it. They're watching. They're watching me like a hawk. Yeah. No. Ooh, this is a great one. And I don't really know how to say it without saying what I shouldn't, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So a friend of mine, he was a Nathaniel, and I was like 18, 19 or something like that, and he had a couple guys coming through from the thick of Chicago. Real gangsters. This motherfucker specifically says you need to watch the things that come out of your mouth because these guys will fucking bury you. And I was like, okay, whatever. And we're all sitting at John's inside, and we're all sitting outside on the porch talking. And I was like, you guys want to hear something fucked up, hilarious, outrageous, some more fucked up, some more funny again? And they were like, basically, yeah, get on to it. I was like, my last name is this. And they're like, yeah. So I'm like, my last name is Y, nigger. And on instinct, these motherfuckers break down, laugh so fucking hard. They are basically breathless. My homie pulls me to the side like 30 minutes later, says, what the fuck is wrong with you? Have you done fallen on your head? I was like, what are you talking about? Why would you say your last name, brother? Why? I was like, but they laughed. He was like, but what if they didn't? I was like, but they laughed. You're not gonna get me to change my answer. That's what happened. They laughed. I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, I'm some scrawny ass white boy, and I am in my stomping grounds, and I'm not in their house in Chicago saying that shit in front of one of their friends. You know, like, obviously these two men are intelligent enough to realize that it's not a threat, it's reality. That is actually my last name said slowly. It is not spelled anything like that. It's not even really pronounced that way. But if you say it slowly, that is how it is through and through. But yeah, two
I love
dudes,
that.
two real gangsters.
Yeah. I totally
Hard
get
R
it.
though.
I hate those what ifs. You know, like what if this or
Well,
what
I
if
mean,
that? Well, it didn't. So why speculate on something that never happened? Why make a problem of a
what brought
hypothetical
you the
situation that never occurred?
what brought you the balls to say that in the first place? This was his question, but he didn't ask it. Like, how do you, and honestly, I don't know. I know I wasn't really doing drugs around then, so I must have just been really stoned, maybe some drinking, maybe some beer. I don't know. It felt like the most funny. Oh, it was because I never had that growing up. I never had that little tidbit growing. Like, I didn't get that until about that age. I discovered that that's how my last name was. I wish I would have had it. I wish. When I was growing up, it would have made life differently. Um, but and that was why, because it was still all really new. Believe it or not, they laughed really hard, but the people in California that hear that really, really value and respect me and understand that it is indeed my name, that they don't act the same way at all. They don't like
Yeah.
it. They don't say anything, but they don't like it. It's really bizarre. And I also know the guy from Connecticut who was Chris Webby's security guard didn't like it either. Even though I specifically said I'm only gonna say this once. It is my last name. There's nothing you can do about it, okay? One time, and he's like, you can only say that one time. I was like, yeah, I know. Chris Webby was sitting there like, because the guy I brought with me was black, and he's just sitting there and he's not realizing why he's not phased. It was good times. It was good times.
By the way,
So I don't know why I was pissed off one in particular. But this woman was driving in a van really, really slow, and it really pissed me off even more. So I just jetted around her, and I tried to drift this corner, and I fucking just smacked into the curb. And then I drove it like 4 fucking miles, and I get to my buddy's house, and he's like, how in the fuck did the tires not pop? Like like he's looking at this being like, that should not be inflated right now, dude. And you drove it from what? No fucking way, dude. If you didn't show up, I wouldn't. It's tough for me to even believe you right now. Okay, this happened many years later, than all of those ones in particular, and I am going out of order a little bit. So there was a time in my life where I was highly intoxicated on methamphetamine. And one night I had weed in white trash bags on the sticks that needed to be bucked down and trimmed behind the seat of a what was sort of like an S10. It wasn't a Chevy S10, but it was that same body, that same little build of truck. And it was a white truck with a red stripe, and I blow through a red light. And the damn cop is at the intersection, and it's nighttime, okay, because there's nobody around anywhere. And the cop was digging on the floorboard for something and didn't see me. Blasted that red light. And recommended that I start selling methamphetamine to make money because it was good money. So it didn't last too incredibly long because I quickly discovered I'm not a drug dealer by this. I go into a house to drop some stuff with some other guy that not my buddy that was my security at the time, but his buddy. This dude, when we get there, this dude's got this giant ass shiner on his face. He said he hit some chick and this dude knocked him the fuck out. And I was standing up, they were all sitting down smoking, and there was a knock at the door. And I turn around and I open the fucking door. I don't look through the people. I open the door and it's cops. This is why I should not be a drug dealer. This is why no. And mind you, at this time I'd never done it. I wouldn't do it till 6 years later. And the cops start feeding us out, and the chick cop grabs my pockets to make sure I ain't got no weapons, and she grabs right on this giant rock. And she lets it go, and I get to walk out. And then the officer tells us outside to sit down. And I ask him if I could reach in my back pocket to get my phone. And I want to put it in my shirt pocket so I don't sit on it and break it. He says yes. And I do. I put it in my pocket, my shirt pocket. And then I'm sitting there. And I'm looking down at my pocket. And I notice that isn't my motherfucking charger. That is the charger to my scale. Well, we had a discussion earlier. A scale that had a cover that made it look like a BlackBerry would be inconspicuous enough to have sit on right out in the open if you got pulled over. Well, the fact of the matter is I got to walk away after the cop grabbed a ball of dope. And, the other cop saw me show him a scale and put it in my shirt. I got to walk away. Called up the guy that was my security in the beginning. I said, this is what I got. What do you got in your pockets? He said, like $20, 2 grams of wax, and a half a pack of cigarettes. I was like, cool. I got like $300 worth of drugs for you. I'm out, dude. Like, I am not cut out for this. I have not sold drugs since. But goddamn, that's actually why I got this tattoo. Was because I know it's damn well I'm not invincible. I might be invisible though. But the 18 reminds me that I'm not invincible. Because at any given time, you really fuck shit. Let's see,
A lot of people would have called that lucky. A lot of people would have called that.
One,
you have
two,
like
3, 4, 5, 6. We're on 6 so far. Lucky. And this is just what I can conjure up. Bro, there is so much more. So much more.
I mean, I guess we'll save that for a part 2, perhaps. Because
we'll get into that. That is the end of the opening, though. So we can actually get into the topic, but that just gives the basis of how lucky I am and who I have been inherently from the beginning, and who I still.
Let's keep that as the
beginning, not the examples. Obviously, I'm not a dealing meth head anymore.
Good thing.
Good things.
Well, let's keep that as the cliffhanger for people to listen to. to episode 2. It's been about an
Yeah.
hour and a half. I got kickboxing in like 15 minutes. Still gotta train, gotta prove myself worthy to Thor. I mean, I'm Dutch. We're kickboxers. I'm very good at it, I may add. Man, so these are crazy fucking stories, and yeah, like you can call it karma, you can call it luck, like an angel on your shoulder, guardian angel, whatever you wanna call it. I guess we'll get into the depths of that on part 2. So for everyone watching, for everyone listening, stay tuned. Make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure you have the notification bell on, so you do get notified whenever part 2 may drop, which, I'll decide when that is, but, soon, because these are some crazy ass stories, and I'm very curious, and I ran out of time.
I
But
thought
yeah,
we'd get a lot farther than we did, honestly. But it makes sense that
I mean, hour and a half is usually what I try to max out
yeah.
as
No,
people's
for
attention
sure.
span, TikTok
Yeah.
generation, the drill, the whole rigmarole. So for more on you, or like, is there any stuff that you want to promote, any platforms that people should find you on?
I promote health and well-being, and get out there and make yourself healthy and be a well person to be being, and promote you. Promote you. I promote. But as far as platforms or social media or anything like that, I don't have. I have a phone number that I would rather not use. Besides, this was never a plan. I never saw myself being on a podcast, so I ain't got time for anything else in my life extra to be added to it. Like, I should be already doing what I need to be doing, but instead I'm doing something that is more near and dear to why I exist, and we'll get into that, but it solely wrapped around being more and having more of an impact, because if more to life was more, it'd be the impact that which you made while you live. And I don't do things, I either don't do them or I do them all the way. So I make an impact in my day-to-day life, and by doing that, I hope the words actually get to people that understand them and can take the time to become more themselves, because the one thing I don't have is the ability to share my knowledge with people that are wanting to hear it, because it's just makes them go introspective too much, go into themselves too much. Like, I could play a song and fucking that song will be like, can I pick the next one, man? That was too heavy. I'm like, dude, really? It's too heavy. It's a song.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well, guess we'll save the introspection and save the answers on what it is and what it is for you and how it has manifested itself. We'll save that for part 2. So, dude, thank you very much for sharing these stories. Thank you very much for coming on. I know this is it's a first, and something that you do usually, as you mentioned.
I
I'm still
try.
thankful that you.
You know, I
True.
try to tell people all the time, they just don't listen. So this was the well, I called you and I told you my realization and shit. So
Well, I'm very lucky to have a platform on where I can showcase these stories, and I love doing it because I learn a lot from it too. As I have mentioned many times, I have learned more from podcasting and more from the hundreds of guests that I have had on over the years than I ever really did in school. So podcasting's been my school. It's been my guide to understanding myself, to understanding the world, to understanding, or possibly understanding, what the fuck is going on. And I'm still trying to figure it out so many years later. So yeah, thank you for sharing. Thank you all, to my lovely audience, for watching and listening. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Greyhorn Pagans. Instagram's been blowing up. It's been doing very well, so I'd like to keep it that way. Support us on Patreon for early access, bonus content, and of course, the Greyhorn Book Club. That is patreon.com/Greyhorn Pagans. For everything else, go to our website, www.greyhornpagans.com. Everything and anything can be found on there. Another dugout, because why not? So yeah, stay tuned for the next one. And yeah, have a good evening, good night, good morning, whatever it may be to you. And we will see you all soon. I'll speak to you all soon again. Bye-bye, everyone.
This was yet another amazing episode of the Greyhorn Pagans podcast. We thank you all for watching. We thank you all for listening. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you will be notified whenever we upload something new. Support us on Patreon for early access and for everything else that we do with the tribe, for everything else that we do with the podcast. Find us on www.greyhornpagans.com. For now, we thank you